This is the control room. It's like the nerve centre of the studio. It's where all the recording happens. So you've got a big analog mixing desk, which is where all the signals from the studio come into, and I can then, adjust the level and the tone of the sound and record them. So into the computer gear. I took a slightly strange path into it. I started in bands and then in kind of crap jobs that kept the band going, and then at some point decided actually I need to do something that will make some money so that I can do this all the time and not just in my spare time, which was a time in my life that was diminishing. I just want to make records. That's all it's all I want to do really. And for a long time all I've ever wanted to do. I thought that was just my own records for a long time. It really isn't. Often some of the most exciting artists that you can work with are people that are completely unknown or unsupported, don't have a label and don't have any money and don't have any of those things, but they're from their bedroom are doing something really exciting, and you feel this is potentially people that I want to help support. It's a tough industry to get started in. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of support to get anywhere, and most people, super talented people, give up before they get anywhere, and that's the reality of life. You can't spend your whole life chasing after something which actually just ends up not happening. A lot of it with working with kind of new artists is just saying to them, this is amazing, this is fantastic, let's do this, like you can do this, let's go, like this, let's make it better, but like this is worth doing. So I think the role of managers and mentors and people in those early stages in people's careers, for me, it's always been about trying to move them on faster to the point that they're getting something back from what they're putting in, to the point that they're able to pursue it and continue doing it, as opposed to just thinking, stuff it, I better get a day job because it's, and that's what's great about this mentoring scheme, is that it gives, it's another one of those opportunities to work with artists in different ways and in different capacities. If the setup is, here's a person, you need to help them with what they're doing, as the starting point, that's great, because you've not got it's not like help this person and make sure that you're getting paid at the end of it, or help this person, and that's the great thing about this mentoring scheme really.
Well, I'm not actually mentoring any individual at the moment. I'm teaching an evening class. I have 9 students registered, and we are working on a mixture of lino cut printing and collagraph printing. I think when you're working with an individual, it's a much more personal relationship, because you can focus on that person's own very specific needs. It may be that somebody's not able to manage their time properly, or feels that what they're doing isn't getting anywhere and they need a bit of encouragement to move that step forward. Whereas in an evening class, you don't get to know the individual students that individually. It's much more a group activity. I've been a teacher for a long time, and so I have those skills, and I feel quite passionately that I like to share what I'm doing and what experience I have with other people. I was a struggling artist who didn't sell work not all that long ago, and other people helped me to promote my work, so it's a kind of payback.
I started working with jewellery when I was applying to go to university. My personal tutor in my 4th year was Jonathan Boyd. there's a running theme here. And Alex Boyd from Lanntair has been helping direct my work. He put me in contact with Sheila Fleet from Sheila Fleet Jewellery in Orkney, and I spent some time there. She was a great help, somebody that I've always looked up to as well, so to get to spend that one-on-one time with her and her team in the workshop was invaluable to me. She gave me a lot of technical advice, not just in the making but in the designing, some business advice as well, which coming from someone like Sheila is incredible. There's certainly struggles that come from being in a rural environment, getting off the island and going to shows, even getting hold of some of your materials sometimes comes with its own issues. But that being said, we are very lucky with where we live. I think it's very easy to be inspired. We have so many different creative outlets up here. So we've got your Harris Tweed, you have your painters, you've got a whole ton of photographers, a lot of people that like to work with their hands, pottery. You know, the list is pretty endless. If there's something creative to do, there's somebody up here that has found a way to do it in the place that we are, and for the islands to reflect on that. The mentorship scheme certainly helped to direct me with my work, and it also gave me a bit more of a focus. So I knew that I wanted to do the jewellery, and I knew that I wanted to get to a stage where I was ready to bring it out, but this gave me the focus to get there.
Well, this is an original Roll of Honour, published in 1920, and I was lucky enough to get one of these, and it's got a chapter on the Islay disaster of 1919, when 205 men drowned. And what I do is I photograph men, and then I can't really work from something this size, so I'll process it and make it sort of on the monitor. This is one I was very moved by. This is John Morrison of Ten Call. And from that I just start the painting process and just see if I'm happy enough with how even everything is. Started off with pastel art, and then about 2-3 years ago I moved into oils, just fell completely in love with oils. It tends to be quite an isolated activity, very easy just to sort of draw into yourself, but through Lanntair's mentoring scheme I've just made so many connections, and it's going to really take off the next few years, I think. Apart from that, the mentor that was chosen for me, David Reed by Alec Boyd, it was an amazing weekend. I learned so much, and it's going to change everything again. It makes you feel part of a community, and it increases your sense of professionalism. One of the major things I found being down there with David was I was immersed in his world. So there was a Joe Lomo award-winning landscape artist next door who went through to see behind the scenes. There's a photographer upstairs. There's a fantastic portrait artist in the loft space above him. It's just that sense of community, really, and sparking ideas off each other.
And you think the mentoring scheme facilitated that?
That's exactly what it did, yes. It was amazing. We're immersed in beauty, so I think that far outweighs anything else about, say, living in London or whatever. And we're getting quite a community together of artists, which is going to develop very much, I think, in the next wee while.
So I played in bands as a teenager and stuff, and then I went off to Glasgow and I'd saved up and I bought a MacBook, and the MacBook had GarageBand on it, and so I started like doing songs on that, and then my laptop broke, and I didn't write anything for like a year. And when I got it back and started writing songs, he was digging it, and he's pretty much been a collaborator from the get-go, or like a sage, or like a guru.
I mean, Mother Night is just amazing. I think it would have been quite easy to work with all sorts of musicians, but this is something that's like musically really close to my heart. So it's really enjoy working on the tracks, and it's music that I'm really proud of.
If I hadn't got involved with the mentoring project, I never would have got to record in a place like this. I'm not, it's just been the dream. It's just been amazing. It's just been like, there's a massive desk and all this gear, and like sitting in the studio and working stuff out. It's just been what I've wanted to do since I started writing songs. It really feels like fulfillment of a dream. Well, I suppose the biggest challenge is that there's not a huge audience here for, I guess, was the kind of the stuff that we're doing, But in terms of, for me, in terms of resources and stuff, like, I live in Newcastle now, but I came back here to record my album, so I guess in that sense, it's not so challenging. I think we're. Oh, yeah, sorry, Pete. You can hear me? Oh, it's so embarrassing.